We're talking about HLL and your machine code. So what is HLL stands for? HLL stands for your high level language, and you can say that human readable language. So what is basically human readable language? Now I'm talking in English, so you can say that English, Bengali, Hindi, Telugu. So these are some languages which is human readable language, but you cannot give some instruction to your computer to understand Bengali or Hindi, right? So for that, what you need like some code, like some like sort of command which is which are understandable by your computer, right? So for that we have the machine code. So there is two things, one is high level language and other thing is machine code. So in high level languages, what we have in, like, you can say that high level languages, like nowadays, like, let me talk about the programming language. So what is the programming language? So we write all those programming language in English, right? So in the programming languages we have Java, we have C, we have your C++, Fortran, Ruby. So these are the things that we have within the high level language. So now let me talk about the compiler. Okay, what basically your compiler does, the compiler converts your high level language into the machine language. Now, so whenever your high level language is getting converted into your machine language, then what happens? It gets converted into bytecode, like in binary code. Binary code stands for 00111100. Suppose I'm telling you to 00110011. So you can't understand that what I'm talking about, right? But your computer, like your computer or your machine will understand that. So what now your compiler does? Compiler converts your high level language into the machine code. Clear? Now let me talk about the bytecode. So what bytecode is? Now when Java comes in your mind, the first thing comes in your mind, that is your Java is platform independent. Now why Java is platform independent? Why C and C++ are not? Basically C is not. Suppose you are writing any code in C in Windows. Suppose on the Windows environment you are writing any code and you are trying to run all those code in the Linux platform. It may face some issues, like it may face some segmentation fault, it may face some like file not found or this kind of thing. So why this kind of thing happen? So because C is not platform independent. So what code you are writing in .c file, it in Windows it gets converted into .exe file. So when you run all those things in DevC++, you can see that you will get a .exe file. Now you can't run a exe file into Linux, right? You can't run a exe file into your Mac, right? Now Java comes into this picture. So that is why Java is so popular in 2020 also. So now what happens? So when you write any Java code, it gets converted into class file, .class file. So you just take that .class file into any of the environment. You can take it to IBM Sun, you can take it to Linux, Mac, Windows. This .class file will run in everywhere, because in the last video we have talked about JVM, right? So in JVM what happened? But the other thing you have to keep in your mind, that JVM is platform dependent. So suppose whenever you are downloading a JVM, it will be different for Windows, it will be different for Linux, it will be different for Mac. But what the code you are writing is .java file, and this code will be same for every environment. Now let me tell you about the bytecode. So what happened when you compile a .java file? What your .java file gets converted into .class file. Now in C what happened? You write a .c file and it will directly interacts with your CPU, like it directly gets converted into machine code. But in Java there is a middle layer that is called bytecode. At first your Java file will be converted into bytecode within JVM, and then your bytecode will be getting converted into machine code. So there is a two-step process. So that is why Java is platform independent. You write your code in any of the languages, like any of the platforms like Windows, Linux and Mac, you can run it to everywhere.